Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about new characters that are potentially going to be added through the season pass, or at least theorize who we're going to get. But I also wanted to go over every character that we've gotten so far revealed. Now I believe total we have 21 characters. We'll go through all of them. I do want to mention there are two that are clearly announced through this trailer, but we haven't seen them yet. But these are the two that are going to be, they literally announced it as you see right here in this trailer. Upcoming reveals of Aizen, which it might be this Monday. This video should come out Sunday, so obviously I guess tomorrow technically. So tomorrow I guess I might be Aizen or Yamamoto. I don't know if this is like in order, but these are two characters that have obviously been announced as well. So, and this is Aizen, to clarify, this is Aizen Mundo Aizen. So I don't think, which makes sense because Aizen got introduced in the Soul Society. He got quote-unquote killed, and then he reappeared, put his hair back, and then the next time we saw him. So this is going to be our base Aizen. Now, there was a tiny bit of like a gif of gameplay. I couldn't really tell much from that. But I'm excited to see what he has, because I feel like Aizen is a character like Ichigo, I think, and even Tosen, where he might have another character. Because he has this form, he has the Hogyoku form where he has like the cocoon, he has the form after that where like the cocoon breaks, then he has the butterfly form, and then he has the form right at the end with the final Getsugo where like the face is split in half and he has like the mouths and stuff like that on his wings, right? So I'm curious if Aizen's gonna have, this version is gonna have like a reawakening up until the butterfly form, and then maybe they'll do the other Aizen or whatever, or this Aizen just awakens into the shell or whatever, who knows. Or it might not even have that, and then there's going to be the butterfly Aizen who reawakens or awakens into the split face Aizen. So, very curious on that. In terms of like predictions for Yamamoto, obviously, I think he's going to be very inspired by everything we saw up until the end of the Aizen stuff, because obviously they're not touching Thousand Year Blood War stuff, at least yet. Which, if you know, you know. I'm not going to try and spoil for people, even though it's been out in the anime for a little bit. The manga's ended for a while. But yeah, I don't think anything regarding Thousand Year Blood War is going to be in Yamamoto's kit. I could be wrong, but we shall see. Anyway, starting off with the characters, we have Ichigo. This is Ichigo from the Soul Society. This is just base Shikai that can go into Awakening Bankai right here, and then as well, I believe he gets like he can go into like the crazy Hollow Mask form where it's just a partial mask that he did against Byakuya, right? So we have this version of Ichigo. Then we have Uryu, who has the Let's Steal Awakening, which is obviously the one that he did against Mayuri. But I'm very curious if we're gonna get either another Uryu or if we're gonna be able to customize specials or something, because again, these are 1-minute trailers that happen, so I don't remember seeing if he does the move where, again, it's like the 5 swords on the floor and then he drops a little drop on it and then it does that big thing, because that's like kind of his like ultimate. Did against that against Yami. So again, very, very curious. So I don't know if we're gonna get another Uryu, but we'll see. Probably not, but it is what it is. Because I don't think this, if I remember correctly, from the gameplay we saw, I don't think this Uryu has this bow. I think he just has the regular, like a physical bow that he had earlier, but could be misremembering. Then we have Rukia. Well, spoilers for her right here. If you know, you know, but I don't think that's going to be part of her kit. Not even think. It's not going to be part of her kit at all. There's going to be regular, old school Rukia that's going to just have Sodeno Shida Yuki Awakening, that's going to have Kido, and that's going to have the, the ice moves and stuff like that for like your ults. Then we have Yoruichi here, which I think she looks fire. We've seen gameplay of her. I don't know if we're going to get like this person saying 2 versions of her, where we're going to get like the this is like the armor hands version or whatever that she tried to use fighting Aizen. I don't think so, because I don't think it really changed her kit much. She just did Shunko and she's just wearing less clothes, which could easily just be a costume. Then we have Chad. Yes, I agree. I can't even imagine Chad losing. He won like 1 fight out of like all the fights he's been. Anyway, then we have Gregugu. So we have Urahara. Oh, they're just asking for Orihime next. I was wondering what this was about. We have Urahara. Again, nothing involving Thousand Year Blood War, but I do think he's going to be pretty cool. Gin is a character that I think is going to have one character, because they showed his Bankai, and if you remember, if I'm correct, he doesn't it doesn't do his Bankai until the Wekamundo arc. So I don't think that's gonna, you know, be like we're gonna get a second Gin or whatever, because if you look here, Gin is clearly wearing the Wekamundo outfit. So I think this is just gonna be a case of wearing a different costume. But I liked his gameplay. Then we have Rangiku followed up. Seems pretty cool. She's also, obviously, according to this trailer, she's also going to be getting a 1000-year Blood War version of herself as a costume. Because, and just to reference this, I think I said in the other videos, I think the reason that they picked these two at least to show is because, at least from what I remember from the manga, they don't really change that much post what happens to them in the 1000-year Blood War. They just look, you know, newer and different. So yeah. So Rangiku's gonna get a different costume as well from the 1000-year Blood War. Then we have Hitsugaya, who's also getting a 1000-year Blood War. But my theory kind of falls apart with him because he has a very different style, but he's a character that we could see maybe as DLC. We'll talk about that later. Afterwards, obviously he has his Bankai, he has a Gauge and all that. Then we have Kenpachi. I believe he does have Kendo, so this is just going to be one Kenpachi, I think. Kenpachi is relatively static until 1000-year Blood War. Then we have Ukiura, like jumps from Soul Society all the way to, you know, Wekamundo. So we have Ukiura, who's the first character that they introduced. I think he got leaked initially, which is why maybe they pushed this announcement ahead. But yeah, Ukiura has an awakening, but he also has a reawakening, which I don't know how exactly it works yet. Same thing for Ichigo. This is going to be the second Ichigo, but this is Ichigo already in Bankai. His awakening is putting on the Hollow Mask, which I'm very curious if we could customize, because story-wise, after he goes Vostalord, the Hollow Mask becomes the one with the 2 lines. And I love both versions, but I don't know if I don't know if I like the 2 lines one more. But we'll see if there's a way to customize this in the game. This used to be costume, so we'll see. But yeah, so this Ichigo is going to be very different than the base Ichigo. Then we have Tosen, who I alluded to earlier, because Tosen is a character that I think could have 2 characters. Because this version of Tosen, we saw in the trailer, he has a Bankai and everything, and they didn't introduce a reawakening because it was after these guys. And clearly in the marketing right here, you can see Tosen briefly down here. This is Tosen from his fight in Karakura Town or whatever against Komamura and all that, right? This is the Wekamundo Tosen. So I'm curious if we're going to get a second Tosen that can transform into his Hollow Fight state and have his full Hollow Fight state, which is like that big bug form. Personally, don't like that bug form at all. But if they're going to be accurate to the source material, which they seem to be, because in that trailer they actually show you fighting Jidambo, maybe, you know, we'll get a different Tosen. Or I don't think Jidambo is going to be playable. Let me see if I can pull this up really quick. Jidambo doesn't seem to be playable, but it does seem to me, at least to me, where like there might be character exclusive characters, or like story exclusive characters that you might fight. So I'm very curious to see how that plays out, if there is going to be anything, right? But yeah, right here. So yeah, Jidambo, I don't think he's a playable character, but this definitely, they seem to be very accurate to the source material. So maybe you just have certain characters you fight only in the story. So maybe you only fight Bug Tosen in the story mode. Because maybe this could just be a costume for him, and maybe he has the holification, but we'll see. Then we have Soifun, who's very simple, very similar to Yoruichi. She's also gonna have her Raikkoben thing, but that's not her awakening because her Bankai is that big, just a big missile. Next is finally Renji. This was just kind of a meme because Renji like was shown from the jump, but in the initial like group of Soul Society characters, like up to Rukia, it's like, oh, you would think after Rukia, Renji. No, they waited like X amount of characters and then they got to Renji, which was funny. Very cool. This is pretty standard Renji. I don't think he's gonna have a change. He only really gets a big change in the arc after this, costume-wise, and then obviously a big change in 1000-year Blood War. Then we have Kira, which I think is a very interesting choice, but I think he has a, you know, seems like an interesting playstyle. Seems to like debuff a lot. He's a second lieutenant, I believe that's confirmed. Then we have Nell, who's going to have the awakening to transform into her armored form, or, you know, her actual true form, or in a centaur. Oh no, she's going to be in her adult form, but she's going to transform into her centaur form, which I think is pretty cool. Then we have Grimmjow, which is obviously a big fan favorite. Love my boy. has everything. And I think the last quote unquote like released with like a character trailer was Mayuri. So yeah, so this up to then, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 characters plus the 2 that are here. We have 21 characters so far in Bleach Rebirth of Souls. And who can we see that's left to be announced? I think a lot of the Espada are still yet to be announced, right? Maybe a second Aizen. But yeah, in terms of characters that are that I'm trying to think off the top of my head, even like just trying to think of like other captains. I guess Kyoraku we don't have, right? We don't have all the other captains. So obviously the game releases in March, I believe it said. March 21st, so we have 3 months. So if they're gonna go a character a week, we have 2, 3, and then like so 4, 8. You can do maybe 11 more characters. And in terms of characters, like we will see. Could we see Yami, for example? I think he might be a story-only character, depending if they could put him, because they could have his initial form where he's just like the big buff guy, but his full power is like being a giant dude. So maybe he's just gonna be one form, and then in the story mode he'll have the big giant form. And then also we have characters like Stark. I think he's gonna be, of course, in there. Tia Halibel. I don't think Luffy's gonna be in here. That like he was like replaced Grimjow for a little bit. I mean, I would hope not. It was kind of annoying. In terms of like Soul Reapers, I'm trying to think of other Espada as well. Aro Nieto, I don't know. Zaya Aporo. I think, to be fair, I think if the game seems to be very, very accurate, in my opinion. The way they're adapting everything, cutscene wise, the fact that they even have, like I said, Jidambo in here is kind of wild to me. And the way they're kind of adapting the story, I do want to say that it might be because of that. I think it might be very, very accurate. So I'm leaning that we're gonna get like Zaya Aporo, Aruniro out of the way, right? What's it called? Stark, Kyoraku, or Shunsui. What else? Ukitake, and other characters, right? So very Baragon, right? I'm trying to remember the Espada by memory. Baragon, what's his face? Noitara that Kenpachi fought. So yeah, there's a lot of characters still. There's a lot of characters that can be revealed. So those are, I think, the characters that are going to fill out the rest of the roster. And I think we're going to have a third Ichigo that's going to be Dangai that can go final Getsuga for a move or whatever, or even do that as an ult, right? I think that's going to be maybe one of the last characters they announced, right? So I think that's kind of where my ballpark is. I think we're going to get the last 10 to 15 characters. I think it's going to be the rest of the Espada, Baragon, Stark, Tia Halibel, Noitara, Aroniero, Zaya Laporo. If I'm missing one, forgive me. Then you're going to have characters like Shunsui, Ukitake. If you want to do Shuhei as one of the lieutenants, because I know he's very, very popular. So yeah, maybe even that tree Aron card that was spawning clones. But so yeah, up to right now, 21 characters released. And let's talk about the season pass. The season pass is going to be 4 characters, it seems to be. If you pre-order or you get the deluxe edition, you get access 1 week early, every character. Now, who do I think is going to be part of the season pass? Honestly, it's tough to say, because I was thinking like, oh, they probably want to make a sequel, and why would they throw in 1000 Year Blood War characters? But to be fair, they're throwing in 1000 Year Blood War costumes, and not only just because this is 5 separate characters, but you're also getting, if you pre-order, you get these too. So you're getting 7 1000 Year Blood War characters, or like costumes for characters. Again, I don't know who else is getting them. Maybe Renji. I feel like if you change him, you have to change his moveset, to be honest. I know Orihime is on here on the cover too, so maybe she's another character that's gonna fight too. She could be a more defensive or strategic type character. We'll see. But yeah, I'm very curious because we have 4 1000 Blood War costumes out, and then we're gonna have 3 more that we haven't seen yet. So does that mean that it's open for a season pass character if they want to do? Because if this game sells well, they would want to do a sequel, right? That goes from the Lost Agent arc? Is that what it's called? But I forget the name of it. The freaking Fullbring arc. The Fullbring arc, which I like. the Fullbring arc all the way to the Thousand Year Blood War finish, right? So would they want to throw in here like Thousand Year Blood War Ichigo, Thousand Year Blood War Kenpachi, or whatever? I think personally, I think here they might throw in like I want to say Fullbring, but I think maybe money wise it's probably better to just throw in maybe some. Because the thing is, there's so much to pick from Thousand Year Blood War that you can't just do one season pass of 4 characters. Like, to be honest, because there are so many reveals, attacks, forms, and stuff in that part that I feel like handpicking 4 and then saving the rest for the next game feels a little weird. That's if we only have one season pass. So, to me, could be wrong, but I don't think we're gonna be getting a Thousand Year Blood War character in the season pass. Personally, if anything, I would probably say maybe a Visored. Like, that's maybe another character we could see announced, like Shinji and stuff, which I don't think was announced. You could correct me if I'm wrong. Shinji, maybe one of the other Visoreds, Lisa or something. Or just something along those lines, right? Like maybe Ichigo's dad, maybe he might be a playable character either in the in-game or could be a DLC character. But that's kind of like where I'm kind of hedging my bet. I could maybe see some Fullbring stuff, like maybe you want to throw in Ginjo. That was his name, right? The main guy. I feel like maybe Tsukishima or something, right? Because that's like one group, right? The dude with the thing with the PSP, I think you can argue like you can maybe not, you don't have to have him in a game, but I think he could be used in a game. But you could throw in, if you just want to do Tsukishima, Ginjo, whatever, the eye patch dude, and then the girl with the dirty boots or whatever. You could have all that stuff. But yeah, I think that's where my bet is when it comes to the season pass. What do you think so far? Of like, what do you think is going to be in the season pass? Do you think? Or I could be wrong. What if in the season pass they just throw in, Thousand Year Blood War Ichigo, Thousand Year Blood War Kenpachi, Thousand Year Blood War Urahara or something, right? I think for me personally, I think another character that might get just a costume might be, where is he? I think it's him. I think he's gonna get a costume for Thousand Year Blood War because I don't think he changed much, if I'm correct. Again. But I don't think that's a prerequisite. I'm just saying that that's my own headcanon for like characters that don't have a lot of change. But let me know what you think. And that's if costumes don't change movesets. We still have not have that confirmed because we could just have one Tosen. I know why Ichigo could get multiple because Ichigo has so many forms and all that. But we could just have one Tosen and then his outfit changes. Some of his movesets. So let me know what you all think. I don't know the actual season pass characters. My bet is I'm gonna hedge my bet on like maybe some Visoreds, maybe Fullbring arc stuff. I don't think we're gonna get into the Thousand Year Blood War personally. But what do you think? I think we might see a character like Shinji. Well, Shinji's too popular, but maybe maybe that's why they probably keep him out. But again, I think the next trailer is gonna be very evident in terms of like characters because the next trailer should after the Soul Society, which is basically the Visor training, Grimjaw and all that stuff leading into Wakamundo. So let me know what you all think. I mean, the characters that will be announced. I think Ikaku is a character that's definitely going to get announced. Madarame, another lieutenant. But yeah, let me know what you all think. I'll see you all in the next one. Who do you think is going to be there? Peace out, everybody.